What's up everybody, welcome back. Teancum here with Sew Yeah Quilting. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how you make this amazing quilt behind me using Vegas strips. Let's get started. As we are diving right on into the cutting instructions, let's go over the materials that you're going to need. First, a Vegas strip of your choice. Now, in this particular block behind me, we've only used 3 colors, and we're going to do it in a green version today. And a little bit of white fabrics. Again, you can grab this in a Vegas strip as well, or cut down your bolts that you have at home to 6.5 inches. Now, let's understand block construction here. So I've already gone ahead and made one block. We have to understand this in 2 different parts here. So first, we've got our 6.5 white squares for the corners, super simple there. Then we have half square triangles right here, and along the sides. The middle sections here are actually flying geese, so they're super easy to make on this. So let's start off by constructing the flying geese by cutting out a rectangle like you see here. In the darkest tone, you're going to need 8 rectangles, and for the 2 lighter tones, you're going to need 4 rectangles to make up the entirety of the quilt. I'm going to go ahead and cut 1 of each, that way I can show you guys how to make this, and 2 of my darker one. And these are going to be 6.5 inches by 12.5 inch rectangles. Let me grab a ruler. I'm going to cut off my salvage edge, as everyone should be doing at home. And I have these stacked on top of each other, that way I can get my 2 strips right out the gate. Of the remaining, cut right here to give myself some 6.5 inch squares, which we'll be needing for our half square triangles. And on the lighter 2 strips, I'm going to need half as many of our rectangles here. And then with the rest of this, I'm going to go ahead and chop down to 6.5 inch squares as well. Now, again, just to go over everything, you need 8 of your dark rectangles and then 4 of each of your lights. And then check down the description below for the pattern for exactly how many squares you're going to need to make the entirety of the quilt. Now at this point, we need to cut a bunch of white 6.5 by 6.5 inch squares to tag along with our project here. Now that we're at this stage where we have our rectangles and our squares, this is pretty much all the cutting we have to do. What we gotta do next here is start assembling this quilt block. This is the block in square format. Now we just need to turn them into half square triangles. Super easy to do. Now we're just gonna grab some white and layer them on top of these guys, turn all these into half square triangles before we even touch our flying geese. All I've done is I've gone ahead and marked a line corner to corner all the way down. Most of us know the technique where you sew on both sides. Now that is not what we're doing here today. We need to sew directly onto that line to give us a little extra wiggle room for this whole thing to be assembled. All we're going to do is cut approximately 1/4 inch away from that seam, and then that will open up to a perfect half square triangle that we need. And once we bring it back over here, you can see, and it will line up to be 6.5 inch finished half square triangles, which is amazing in the size that we need. For this little piece right here, don't just throw these away, guys, okay? This is a larger chunk of material, and we don't want it to go to waste. Now, what I recommend to do with it, they are pretty much half square triangles already, so you might as well sew them. Since you're gonna have a bunch of these, make a little pillow sham to go along with this, okay? You can make a smaller version of this. Lots of different things that you can do. There's plenty of extra here to make a little something extra for your quilt. So guys, I went ahead and half square triangled all of my edges here. Now we're gonna repeat the exact same steps essentially as these half square triangles, but to these center pieces here, and we're only going to be doing the top 3. We need to grab this color and put it onto this color, put it onto this color, and we're gonna use white for the edges here. Let me show you here. We're gonna start off with our whites, and we're gonna lay it down like so. And then we're gonna have another white that comes on top of here. We're gonna mark corner to corner, corner to corner, and we're gonna sew directly onto that line. Sew all the way down. Now we have to cut this and steam press it and all that. That way we can put the other side on, or else the seams cross each other a little bit. So now that we have our first one in place, now we're going to just repeat the exact same thing, going here and sewing corner to corner, corner once more. Just like that, we've got our very first top layer. I'm just, for the sake of, as I'm doing all this, I'm gonna just sew both these sides together, and then I'm gonna show you on the next one. The reason why I like to start on the very, very top is it gives us the actual visual of how this all works in the end. So now I need this color I need 2 squares so I can do the exact same thing to this piece there. And we're gonna just repeat the exact same process that we did above. Now that we've gotten this in place, you can see how it's creating this pattern that we're going for here. Now, everything that I've done here, I'm just gonna repeat right here, and then the bottom one stays the same. It just needs to be sewn together. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just do those steps, that way you can see the rows of this block. So guys, as you can see, got my rows here together. Now we're gonna just put all the rows together. You guys know how to do that at home, right sides together, and we're gonna sew this thing all the way up. So guys, now at this point, I'm gonna take this over. It's looking good, just needs some really nice press to this. And now, to make the entirety of the quilt, you need 4 of these blocks here, which is the exact same block 4 times in a different pattern orientation. So I'm gonna go ahead and make up those blocks and then get it all laid out for you nice and spiffy. And like so, which gives us this beautiful, beautiful, it's kind of like a moving pinwheel quilt. It's super, super pretty. And guys, I'm gonna just put the last couple of seams in there, and then we'll show you kind of the final results here. All right guys, I threw my last seams in here, and as you can tell, it is an absolutely stunning quilt. But it's not finished quite yet. So we're going to run this across the building to our in-house armor to have it finished. And guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's tutorial. Not only that, down in the description below, there's a free PDF download of this pattern. That way you can do it at home. And if you need the written instruction, it's right there for you. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't be afraid to share it with your friends. Not only that guys, make sure you're checking out all of our live streams where we sell our Vegas strips or these 6.5-inch strip packs, or check it out at SewYaQuilting.com. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.